Hello, my name is Dr. Lesley Hanney. I am a consultant systemic psychotherapist, which means that I'm interested in people's relationships and see problems happening within the relationship rather than within people. I have worked in the child and mental health teams for the last 25 years across England and Australia, and I specialised in trauma and looked after children. I'm very interested in how trauma impacts on family systems. So one of the things that I've noticed over the years is about the amount of young people who go through foster care, where they end up going through revolving doors and moving multiple placements. I'm really interested in trying to work in order to create some safety for those young people so that they actually begin to build up a relationship where they feel safe and that they can stay in those foster placements so we can stop the revolving door. One of the things that's come in the last probably 25 years as I've been kind of working is the information about brain development. Over the last 25 years, we've begun to understand in psychology around the importance of brain development and relation. So a child is born and in particularly the first 3 months of life, but then carrying on, is the brain develops in the context of the relationship. So if you have a very loving, caring, supportive relationship and you feel safe, your brain develops to feel safe and content, and all of the parts of the neurons connect in a really positive way. If you don't have that situation and you are, for instance, not cared for and neglected, what tends to happen is that the neurons get organized in a very different way, and so they connect in ways that later cause young people problems. And so one of the things is that's really come out is about how you comfort yourself and how you self-soothe, and so being able to be regulated by your emotional states is a really important aspect of treatment in later. And the babies basically is unhappy, is wanting to be fed or something, and so starts to scream and cry and make a noise, which activates the parent to come, and the parent, using the parent's brain and the parent's knowledge, soothes the baby, and over time that relationship causes the brain to develop in its ability to self-soothe itself. When a child hasn't had that, it means that the baby isn't able to self-soothe themselves. So later you can see a child going from 1 to 10 in anger because they haven't got the capacity to self-soothe. Those neurons that should have been connected to self-soothe were not connected. And so you can see children later in life being very aggressive, very angry, very agitated. And it's because the parts of the brain have not kind of connected in the way. So they haven't been with adults who've been able to regulate their brain. And so the exciting thing is that the brain is open to change. And so my thinking and lots of other kind of professionals are looking at ways to teach children to regulate and by doing that, by being in a relationship where they can actually, using the regulation of the adult, can begin to regulate, because the brain is still porous to those experiences and it can change, which makes it a magnificent experience in a way, because you're actually changing biology. So therapeutic parenting is about changing that biology through the foster carer being able to regulate and learn how to regulate that young person. And over time, it's through those day-to-day interactions that you can begin to help a young person learn how to regulate.